We want to be a better team come April than we were last season. We got a very competitive West. We got challenge in the competitive West no matter what, but we lost some key guys. We added some key guys. Really, the season's probably going to come down to our defense. We need that to be championship caliber. We feel like with the addition with Trevor Ariza, with Trevor, Pat, and Dwight, we've got three of the top defenders in the league. Any year when you go into the season with two of the best players at their position in Dwight and James, you got a chance, but it's extremely competitive West again. It's going to be a big challenge.
You said you want to be a better team at the end of the year. Do you feel that right now the roster as is should be, or is it? Are you looking for a trade down the line to get to that point?
I think it doesn't really. I don't think it matters. I mean, at the end of it, we got to win enough games to get home court again, get in the playoffs, and that's going to be extremely difficult. But our focus is, we're getting there and losing the first round. That was disappointing for all of us. Still hurts. We want to not go through that again. We want to be a better team going into the playoffs.
Is getting the defense to that level that Daryl was discussing simply a function of roster changes that have happened since last year?
Roster changes, but last year, our defense, we were very good. We didn't rebound the ball very well. Our first shot defense was very good. We didn't rebound the ball very well. If we rebound the ball better, I think we would have been a top 10 defensive team. So and then you know what? And like I said, the same thing like Daryl said. We got to be better. The same bugaboos that hurt us throughout the year came up and bit us in the rear end in the playoffs. We have an offensive rebound in the first game where Aldridge gets that putback after Lillard keeps the ball alive. Offensive rebound hurt us all year. We had a turnover late, and all the games blend together now. That probably could have sealed the game, but we had turnovers last year. So we got to be a better team taking care of the ball. We got to be a better team rebounding the ball. Contesting first shots. Just all the things that we can do. And we have a lot of new guys this year that they're going to step up. That always happens. There's positions open for competition, and it's going to be a competition. And some guys will step up, some guys won't. But that's the way it's been in the NBA for my entire 35 years in this league. And the guys will step up and play well. Who are they right now? It's hard for me to tell you who they're going to be. But through 28 days, you'll see it, and then throughout the season. But we can get our defense to where it's got to be, which is a championship caliber defense. I do believe that. I think that we can get our turnovers turned down just a little bit. I think they hurt us, all year last year, off and on. Then our goal is to get home court and make a playoff run, the same as it was last year. And a playoff run means winning playoff series. And that series last year hurt. I thought we had a couple of those games well in hand, and some errors late. Gave it to them. Give them credit. They made a big shot.
Daryl, when you went to that second wave of free agent acquisitions, was defense a primary focus in terms of the players you acquired?
I think defense was a priority for all our acquisitions. If you look at all the guys we added, they all have a chance to step up. I think what Coach said is important. Our guys are going to learn from last year's painful loss. We were the youngest team in the playoffs. At some level that contributed to our first round exit. At some level that bodes well for the future. That we've got a lot of upside. We're going to need guys to step up. As Coach said, some are going to step up, some aren't. Where it doesn't happen, we're going to address that. But pretty much all our acquisitions, whether it be Joey, Trevor, Jeff Adrian, Costas, all these guys come in with a defensive mindset, and it absolutely was a big priority in what we wanted to address.
Daryl or Kevin, James took a lot of heat after the season by his lack of defense, specifically in the playoffs, by fans and media. Did you need to talk to him about that during the off season? First, talk to him about the criticism he's taken. Secondly, about improving his defensive game going into this season.
Yeah, we talked about it all last year too. He's got to improve. We've constantly been challenging James, and he's taken on challenges. And he had he knows he's got to improve in areas, and we asked him to do a lot last year. We're going to ask him to do a lot this year. There's a lot of offensive pressure on him to deliver every single night, but you still got to go out there and you still got to play the other side of the ball. He understands that. James is a young guy who's growing into being a leader and growing into his role and growing into who he is. I mean, I think he's done it. We won 54 games last year. He was first team All-Pro. So I mean, that's not bad. I mean, I know there's not the above first team. So first team All-Pro is about as good as you get. So he must have done a lot of really good things to get that. But I think like all of our guys, he's got to improve in areas, and he knows that. James is not afraid to work. He's a good hard worker. He's a good kid. I think the Olympic experience this summer helped him. I think that getting there. But again, like as I told him, we talked. It's a long, long, long season, and there's going to be a lot of ups and downs. And your job is to be a better basketball player next April than you are today. And when you're a first-team All-Pro guy, that's a lot. When you're the 400th ranked guy in the NBA, it's a lot easier to move up to 300 than it is where do you go from where he is. But he understands that. Yeah, so we've talked about it. He's not afraid of challenges. James will get ready to go.
What does he have to be? What kind of level does he have to be defensively for this team to be the level?
Yeah, you got to be like all players. If you want to be a good defensive player, you just got to be someone that people. Your defense is based on help and help principles. But the least amount that you have to help, like if Daryl gets beat every time, like I'm a help defender, I'm like, oh my God, I got to get over the help. If Daryl shuts his guy down, there's a calmness in me. I'm not over helping. I'm not thinking, oh my. It's a trust factor of doing your job on the defense. Don't always rely on the help that's built into every defense that's in the NBA. It's a built-in help. Your object as a defender is not to use that help all the time. It's there when guys make great moves. You can't get beat on average moves, and you can't get beat on just average stuff. You got to make guys work hard to beat you. So I mean, it's simple things, and he understands what it is. It's like everybody though. Your goal, if you play on a team and it's a championship caliber team where we want to get, it's a huge amount of trust, and that trust comes through over doing your job night after night after night after night after night, so that everybody can trust each other.
You touched on James's international experience this summer. A lot of the staff at Team USA made comments that James might have been better than they expected on defense. What were your observations watching him this summer?
Mine?
Yeah.
I thought James played well. I thought he had a really good summer. I thought he went out there. I thought he played very well for that team. I thought that team kind of, I think for expectation level, especially after KD left, and I thought they kind of overachieved. I thought he did a good job of leading, and I thought he did a good job working hard.
One nice thing about James is, obviously it's been talked about, but we don't have to bring it up. I mean, he's the one, talking about, where he needs to go as the next step as a player, and he wants to continue to improve and be a great player. So, one good thing is it's not us necessarily having to push him. It's where he wants to go himself.
What do you think the ceiling is, Daryl, for this team defensively, at least in terms of rating and understanding how much better they can be than they were last year?
Yeah, I mean, as Coach said, we had some very good defensive moments last year. We had some, times where we weren't as good. And bottom line is, overall, we were an average team. We want to be a top 10 team. I think if we can be top 10 on both sides of the ball, that's sort of the entry card to hoping to be a team that can compete for a championship. And last year we weren't quite there, and we're hoping through effort and coaching staff and acquisitions and whatever else comes this season that we can get to where we need to be.
Yeah, where we got to get better. Like when our offense was rolling, a lot of times, our defense took a back seat because we were all going, and we had a lot of offensive-minded guys. I'll just be honest with you, is that talking defense, some of those guys sometimes was talking like a foreign language to them. They were like, hey, man, we got to roll it. We got to be better when things aren't going good offensively. And I thought last year, when things didn't go good offensively, we didn't have that dig-in that we needed to have to get better defensively. Honestly, we were kind of a little bit of a front-running team last year. Our defense improved and our offense improved. You got to be just the opposite. If your defense is, if you're not scoring, your defense has got to pick up. It can't take a back seat where everybody's thinking my shot's not going in. But we had a lot of offensive-driven guys this year. I think this year we have a few more guys that are looking at it from the defensive side as much as they are looking from the offensive side. And that starts with James and Dwight and those guys setting the tone and moving from there.
Any concern you've given up too much offensively to add more defensively? You think you can strike a really good balance there from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, hey, look at again, as I stated earlier, there's a lot of unknowns going into this year, but we have new players. Every time you have new players, I've never coached Trevor Ariza. I know he's been here in Houston before, but I wasn't here. I like Trevor. I think he's going to be very good for us. From what I can see from Papa Nicola, I like what I saw of him in the tapes and stuff. But I've never coached him either. We have a lot of young guys. Troy last year kind of came in late, and I like Troy. Troy got my eye because he don't want to ball in Denver and was fighting in a game that it was a back-to-back long trip. I know the guys were tired. He went out there and battled, and right away I said, I like this kid. So those guys, some of those guys are going to step up and do well, and we're going to need them to. Ish Smith, Isaiah Cannon, those guys are going to have to step up and play well for us to do well. Joey Dorsey's been over in Europe. Tough kid, going to rebound, do stuff. He, Jeff Adrian, they got to step in. Hey, Demo and TJ have got to step up and play better. But they're young guys. I expect them too. So, to answer that question, I don't know. I'll let you know, I guess, in a couple months when I get to see them a little more.
Last question.
Daryl, do you enjoy this give and take with the guy from Dallas?
There was just some things we thought we needed to be corrected for the record, but this is about going forward and the team we have and the challenge we have in front of us.
Thanks, guys.
What, you want to come on? Go ahead. You had one extra question?
That was the one.
There you go. Well, I tell you what, it's scary when you two guys think alike. Wow.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
More from